Fetal circulation. Three shunts are important in maintaining fetal circulation. One is ductus venosus. Between umbilical vein and inferior vena cava. This is helpful in bypassing liver. Next one is foramen ovale. This is a one-way communication allowing blood to flow from right atrium to left atrium. Third one is ductus arteriosus between pulmonary artery and aorta. This is helpful in bypassing lungs. In the fetus, placenta is the site of gas exchange and not the lungs. So, pulmonary vessels are vasoconstricted, diverting blood away from pulmonary circulation. Here, oxygenated blood is carried by the umbilical vein from the placenta. But placenta is not as efficient as lungs, so PO2 is only 30 to 35 mm of mercury. Some of this blood perfuses liver, whereas the rest bypasses liver by passing through ductus venosus into IVC. But IVC also receives deoxygenated blood from the lower fetal body. This drops the PO2 to 26 to 28 mm of mercury. From the IVC, blood flows into right atrium. In the fetus, right atrial pressure is more than the left atrial pressure. So, most of this blood flows through foramen ovale into left atrium, then into left ventricle, and then it flows into ascending aorta. This blood perfuses upper fetal body and brain. And then deoxygenated blood from the upper fetal body and brain is carried by superior vena cava. Partial pressure of oxygen is only 12 to 14 mm of mercury. This blood flows into right atrium and then mixes with oxygenated blood and then flows into right ventricle, from there into pulmonary artery. As we have already seen, pulmonary vessels are constricted, offering resistance to blood flow. So only 5% of this blood flows into lungs, whereas the major portion flows through ductus arteriosus into descending aorta. This blood perfuses lower fetal body, and then eventually this blood is carried by the umbilical arteries back to the placenta. So, oxygenated blood carried by umbilical vein, ductus venosus, IVC, and then right atrium, most of it into left atrium, and then into aorta. This perfuses upper fetal body, brain, and also coronaries. Whereas less oxygenated blood is carried by SVC, and then into right atrium, right ventricle, then into pulmonary artery, ductus arteriosus, then descending aorta. This perfuses lower fetal body. So, what happens after birth? Baby takes first few breaths and umbilical cord is cut. These two events are important. So, in the fetus, placenta offers only low resistance to circulation. So, when the umbilical cord is cut, this low resistance placental circulation is removed. This results in increased systemic vascular resistance. And baby takes first few breaths. So, oxygen enters lungs. This causes mechanical expansion of lungs, as well as there is increase in partial pressure of oxygen, together resulting in pulmonary vasodilatation. This causes fall in pulmonary vascular resistance. So, on the one hand, we have increase in systemic vascular resistance. On the other hand, we have decreased pulmonary vascular resistance. So this causes reversal of flow through ductus arteriosus, blood flowing from aorta to pulmonary artery. But eventually ductus arteriosus constricts and closes due to high PO2. And there is increased blood flow to the lungs, resulting in increased blood flow to left atrium through pulmonary veins. This causes increased left atrial pressure more than right atrial pressure. So this causes functional closure of foramen ovale. And also when the umbilical cord is cut, blood flow from the umbilical vein to the ductus venosus stops. So this causes functional closure of ductus venosus also. So all three shunts are closed functionally. Functional closure of three shunts completes the transition from fetal to neonatal circulation.